Okay. And then for those of you, I just want to make an announcement for people who are not live with us, and maybe you're watching this. If you are counting your Vajrasattva mantras, if you could send them to me, that would be wonderful. And my email address is katie@katiecolemeditation.com. So I told you guys we have one guy in Berlin who's doing that. Oh, Belgium. I want to go back to the gallery. All right. Did I tell you that Venerable Dondrup said that we could have a workshop? Yeah. So we've just got to work out when that's going to work, but we will do that. So start thinking about, if you do have questions for this practice, please write them down, and then we can talk about them. And I'll just answer them as best I can. All right. So let's just settle into our meditation posture. So if you are, can you hear me okay? Yeah. If you are sitting at a desk and your feet are down on the ground, or hi, Marion, just be sitting right on top of your sits bones. Shoulders are aligned with the hips. Really feel your feet grounded on the floor. And imagine your spine is lengthening. So you've got this string of pearls of light that is just getting longer. You're getting taller, and there's some space in between your vertebrae. And bring your awareness to the crown of your head and just relax all the muscles in the body, the face, the neck, the throat, the shoulders, all the way down the limbs, and then go all the way down to the feet, and see if you can even relax your toes. And then just be aware if there are any sounds in your environment, and just allow those sounds to be there. So try not to follow them with the mind. And then just notice the thoughts that are arising in the mind. And maybe just label those thoughts. You know, you can have, it can be as simple as I am thinking. Well, this is a critical thought. This is anger. This is projection. This is planning. So you can do like that. This kind of creates a little bit of objectivity, because you actually have to think about what it is you're thinking. And enables us to take a little bit of a step back. So just imagine you're sitting on the bank of your river and you're just watching that river flow on by, and make a note of the quality of the water. And just remember that while you're sitting on the bank, you're free from the river. So bring to mind, as we've been doing, all these people of your life. So your loved ones, the ones you don't like so much, and then the strangers. And imagine that these particular relationships can change place at any time. And perhaps bring to mind a relationship that has, like maybe there was once a time where you had a very, very close relationship with someone, and then now they're just a complete stranger. You don't even know their email address. Can't even find them on Facebook. So we have friends like that. We lose touch with people. But think of all these people, whoever has floated in and out of our life, they're all the same as us in their wish to be happy, and their wish to be free from suffering, and in having this extraordinary capacity for an enlightened mind, a Buddha mind. So then we'll do this meditation this evening for all these people of our life, and by extension, all sentient beings. So just remembering there is no negativity that cannot be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. So we're creating negativity with our mind So we can change that by creating positivity instead. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives. And you can think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general, regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. And we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. So having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. So karma is a bit about taking responsibility. And we don't really want any more suffering in our lives. So we've got to do something about it. Logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this. I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance. We rely upon, we turn to the Buddha, the doctor, who has the methods that we can use to purify. And it's not that we need the Buddha to forgive us, we're purifying ourselves by relying upon his methods. So imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. And you can also imagine that this is your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made of this radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. And he has this beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. And he has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up on a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two, which symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. So we say like this: to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened by this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva. May I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So we think about this little section on compassion. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, and the very beings we've harmed and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of people you've harmed recently and in the past, and then in general, any being we have ever harmed since beginningless time. And remember those who have harmed you, and we have compassion for them because they will suffer as a result of the harm they've done to you. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. And so now we come to the power of the remedy. And this is the medicine, doing the practice of purification. So we start with the body, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart. And it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you have ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mepi Yata Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Meboa, Sitokaya Meboa, Supokaya Meboa, Anurakta Meboa, Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyatta Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe, Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasapa Dina Patita, Dira Meboa, Sitokaya Meboa, Supokaya Meboa, Anurakta Meboa, Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyatta Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dira Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dira Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dira Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is completely purified, and then think there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with the body. So the next is a purification of your speech. And imagine Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, which overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So you can imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and useless speech and lying and talking badly about others behind their backs, getting other people to agree with you. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as you recite the mantra. Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dira Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dira Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dira Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dira Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dira Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dira Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dira Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others now with your speech. So the next is a purification of your mind. And imagine Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around, enters your crown, and fills your entire being. And so you just imagine when you walk into a pitch black room, you flick on the switch and the darkness is instantly dispelled. So just imagine the same thing. The light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, and then it just eradicates all the darkness or the negativity of the mind. So depression, anxiety, attachment, grasping, neediness, bitterness, grudges, all of this instantly dispelled. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified. And think there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. So next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And again, imagine Vajrasattva sends light and nectar, both together. And it fills you and completely eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from the mind. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta me boa sawa siddhi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me. Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dina Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Te. So now imagine you're completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. So now we come to the power of resolve, and we do have a few minutes, so I think we'll do a little bit longer meditation here this evening. So this is the fourth step in the purification process, and a really crucial one, and this is this determination to not harm with your body and your speech and your mind, and the very least to think about trying to refrain from harming. So without this determination, without making a decision of any kind, we're just going to keep doing the same old stuff. So we have to take responsibility. We have to decide this is what we want. On these kind of behaviors that we have is what we don't want. We don't want this in our life because it's harmful. So it's kind of becomes like a beacon that guides our body and our speech and our mind in new directions. So think about something that you have been working on and that maybe you've been successful in reducing some kind of a habit, and just go, wow, that's amazing. Rejoice. And then maybe you want to work on it a bit more, or you want to work on something else. You know, some things are harder than others. So if something's a little bit more difficult to get on top of, that's okay. You know, you're taking a step. So maybe 2 or 3 minutes, meditate. Imagine Vajrasattva is delighted with you and wants to merge with your mind. So melts into white light and absorbs into you through the crown of your head. And you can think that my teacher's body, speech, and mind, and Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same thing. And now let's just think a little bit about emptiness, and whatever level you understand that, you could think that maybe there is no I or creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. And there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, you can place your mind there. And we can just think of all phenomena as being empty. It's another way to look at it. They do not exist from their own side. It's a bunch of things being dependent on other things in order to happen. And you can think the way that things are appearing to me may not necessarily be reality, may not be the way they exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this purification to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And I heard from a friend of Tina. I haven't actually heard how Tina is, but her friend, Hannah, who's like well into her 80s, she's one of my teachers. She was extremely grateful for our prayers and our love and wanted to thank everybody very much. So I just wanted to let you guys know. So even though they're not necessarily Buddhists, but just much appreciation coming from Hawaii right now. And Tina's here in the San Francisco Bay Area. Okay, for His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, to the incomparably kind Tenzin Gyatso, I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. And for Rinpoche's swift return, the lamp of the Gaiden teachings, the supreme refuge, Lama Zopa, has departed in order to rouse the Dharma disciples who cling to permanence. Supreme Being, you took upon yourself the Kadam teacher's way of life and were bound to it night and day, greatly benefiting the teachings and transmigratory beings. Great Master of the teachings, supreme guide for East and West, hidden yogi, Lama Tupten Zopa. Unrivaled Lama Zopa, you took His Holiness, the Sovereign Lord of the Victorious Ones, as your crown and followed all his instructions. Benefactor Lama Zopa, for the many public and personal needs of Tibetans and others, you opened the vase of resources and cleared away the suffering of hardship. One of great mind, Lama Zopa, you held helpless and voiceless animals with a mind of loving kindness and with a holy savior and protector. Siddha Lama Zopa, Lord of the ocean of mandalas, with the wings of emptiness and compassion, you crossed the waters of the generation and completion stages. Lama Tupten Zopa, great hidden yogi, ornament of the activities of the Gaiden teachings, in truth, a great son of the victorious ones. Having thought of me and other transmigratory beings of the degenerate age, from your seat of lotus and sun at the heart of Sangwa Yeshi, may the jewel that fulfills all wishes, emanating again with the brilliance of 10,000 suns, smile swiftly and without obstacles to our eyes filled with tears of faith. And for Lama Ursel, Venerable One, to you whose kindness exceeds out of all the conquerors, for those wanderers in far-off places, especially the West, mindful of your loving concern for us and intentionally descending again into a family of a far distant land, we make this request, O Lama, please live long. And for our Geshe Shera, beloved teacher, leading your students toward wisdom and compassion, explaining through exacting discernment the steps of the graduated path, you are the unequal guide. Please live a long and stable life.